I cannot promise you I'm going to be nice, because guess what? No one that knows me would ever describe me as nice.
Feels like I haven't filmed in ages, and it's only been about a week. Hi. So I just got back from a week vacation, which was very nice and much needed. It always feels so good to take a mental break from work and stress and social media and all of that, so that was amazing. And the whole trip I was brainstorming all these ideas for content to make and like where I want to take my channel and some editing ideas and all of that I'm so excited for. But one major thing that happened while I was gone was the anti-MLM community literally just fell apart. Just crumbled almost overnight, it felt like.
There's a lot of stuff to address between just the drama going on in the anti-MLM community.
Today's video, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, the anti-MLM drama that has been going on.
We feel lied to. We're left with more questions than we are answers. It's very confusing right now. You have every right to feel the way that you feel right now.
There are a lot of people involved in this drama that don't want to speak on it. Honestly, I can't blame them.
And I received so many DMs and messages and even emails asking me to talk about this, what my stances are, whether they changed, all of that. So I thought today I would just kind of share my story and just put it all out there for you guys so you know where I stand. I also have had a lot of experiences that I've kept to myself for a very long time because I did not feel the need to bring it public. But now that friends that I have are being kind of dragged through the mud, this community that I love is being dragged through the mud and just kind of crapped all over, I kind of feel the need to share these experiences with you guys, to share my truth and defend a community that I love and care about and that brought me to where I am today, let's be honest. So basically, I felt like I couldn't go back to my normal content without addressing the drama within the anti-MLM community. Now, I'm not making this video to add to the drama, and I'm trying my best to cover all of this in the classiest way possible. So bear with me, I'm sure I won't get it 100% perfect, but my intention with this isn't to add to the drama, but actually shut it down, because there has been some misinformation being spread, and there is one person who I feel like has been so toxic to the community from the very beginning, to the point where people just have no idea. And I've been dealing with that for a while, trying to be quiet, but in the end, I just feel like I need to stick up for a community that I care about. I need to battle against the misinformation being spread from people who just fundamentally misunderstand the community altogether. And I just feel like I have to make this video. Two things I want to say before this video. If you spread rumors in the comments or very mean hate comments, your comments will be deleted. That's not what this video is for. It's not to speculate, it's not to spread rumors, and it's not to hate on people. Also, I please ask of you, I know it's kind of hard, but please don't put names of other creators in the comments below, especially to speculate on who I'm talking about. Trust me, I'm going to make it very clear who I'm talking about because I don't want to cut around the bullshit, but I'm also not going to be saying their name throughout this video. This video isn't to become this hate video attacking creators. It's only to stand up for what I believe is right, because I've seen a lot of injustices happening lately, and I think we're all tired of the drama. We are all really fucking tired. And if you already couldn't tell, I'm going to be really angry throughout this video, more heated than I am now. You guys are gonna see a different side to me, probably a much more real side than I'm sure you've ever seen, because I'm upset. I'm honestly genuinely upset by all of this, and I can't hide that, and I'm just gonna be real about it today. For those of you who don't know what anti-MLM is or the anti-MLM community, and have been just super confused by that word as I've said it countless times throughout this video already.
Being anti-MLM can mean different things to different people. People may have different reasons for why they take the anti-MLM label, how they define what that means for them, and how they go about anti-MLM activism. Some may even not want to take on the anti-MLM label at all, but still question some tactics used by these companies.
Well, I started my channel through mainly covering anti-MLM content. That's how I hit a huge growth on YouTube, and I'm really grateful for that. And it allowed me to branch out into content that I've always been passionate about, covering scams and unethical business practices. In 2019, I started a tech startup that ended up failing, and I learned so many lessons. But what interested me so much from those lessons is how businesses get away doing really crummy and unethical things and are able to succeed regardless of how many people they hurt. So I saw anti-MLM as the perfect starting point because anti-MLM is a community, in my opinion, built around raising awareness against the scam that is multi-level marketing. And yes, it's a scam.
Every once in a while, I receive a comment asking me what exactly an MLM is. And I usually define it as a marketing or business strategy that sits in the gray area between a traditional direct marketing sales model and a pyramid scheme. If you ask Wikipedia, it says an MLM is called pyramid selling, network marketing, and referral marketing.
Multi-level marketing companies are pyramid schemes with a product. Nobody, and I mean nobody who covers these topics about MLMs and being anti-MLM can deny that the system itself, the system of MLM companies, is designed for the majority of people to fail and for the majority of people to lose money. The FTC itself has found that 99% of people within MLMs lose money. The most dangerous aspect of MLMs are the false promises that they give their recruits or potential recruits. False promises about building a dream life, making an insane amount of money, but being able to work from home and spend time with family and do it all from your phone. This is a false reality that is notoriously embedded within the recruitment structure of MLMs that is unlike any other business structure or job out there. I really don't care if you think being a YouTuber or a business owner is hard.
YouTube's my boss. Anyone who thinks that YouTube gives you freedom, you wrong. You have a better chance being in an MLM and succeeding than you do being a YouTube creator. Much more competition, much bigger pool of people to compete with.
That's not the conversation, and it never has been. And I am sick of these false equivalencies that have been spread around about how you have no right to talk about the horrible things within MLMs because bad stuff happens here and bad stuff happens there. And it's hard to be a YouTuber, it's hard to be a business owner, but I do it anyways. Really?
If I'm not gaining views, guess what happens? Boss man puts a big old thing on the back end of my YouTube channel. You think an upline is bad? Upline isn't even scary.
YouTube and Shopify doesn't tell you to recruit your friends and family members in order to make any money whatsoever, because any legitimate business does not require the recruitment of friends or family in order to make a profit. Because you have a product of service, you have a product of value. Of course, if you watch The Social Dilemma, you probably think, things like YouTube in which things are free, it's because you're the product, your data being sold to through advertisements, and all of that is a total discussion in itself. But from the standpoint of comparing it to MLMs, is bullshit. Your Google upline does not tell you to constantly spend money on products without seeing any profit or any upside. You can do all of these things. You can recruit your friends and family. You can spend money without making money. But at the end of the day, that's your decision. It's not something that's embedded within the structure of these companies. And that's the difference. Like I said, I'm gonna get heated. I'm really upset, honestly. If you've seen videos on my channel or any other anti-MLMer's channel, you've probably heard a ton of stories at this point from people who have been involved with MLMs. You know that there's people who have been fed lies by MLM companies or recruiters who they genuinely thought were their friends, who told them when they were sick, desperate, and vulnerable, in need of money or a job, that they could make all of their dreams come true with this side hustle.
I joined Mary Kay when I was 21, and I actually had never tried the product before I joined. I just met someone, we're gonna call her Stacy. I met Stacy through a mutual military wife because when you're new to an area and your husband's in the Marine Corps, you need friends, okay? You can't do it alone. So I met Stacy through a mutual friend, and we started going out to breakfast together, and we started hanging out. I didn't notice that every time we'd hang out, she would pick me up in her Mary Kay car.
If you watch my reaction video on Monday, the rep that was in that video, she had a really rough life. So she started off in a really bad situation. And in her mind, MLM was what saved her or what helped her overcome these struggles.
So I guess since you've been part of 11 of them, which one, if you want to say which one, you can, but which one do you think, I guess, you lost the most time or money with out of all of those?
There's probably a couple in there. One of the first ones I joined was doTERRA, and so I probably made almost nothing with that because I don't even know if I got a single person to buy from me.
So my first was Nerium when I was 18, and then the second was World Ventures when I was 21. So very young, impressionable, and I really believed in myself. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to be a business owner, but that was not the way.
All they'd have to do is purchase a starter pack. And if you've seen those same anti-MLM videos, you know that every single story ends the same, with this person losing a ton of money, investing in product, not being able to sell it, not being able to recruit enough family and friends to be able to make any profit from a downline, and ending up with just a ton of product and a ton of debt. Yet still, they've been fed this lie of this lifestyle, profit, and perfect life that they hold on to hope way longer than they should, because we all know that 99% of people in MLMs lose money. And that is the horrible aspect of MLMs that makes it worth talking about and continuing to share, no matter what egotistical creators are involved, because it's an important topic, because people have been hurt by this. And I'm sorry, but what about that makes them not a victim? What about that story makes them not a victim? Because they signed a contract? You're saying what they got, they deserved coming to them because they signed a contract.
I had an issue with the fact that she basically is saying people who have lost money to MLMs, people who have been hurt by MLMs in a financial way, are not victims. And she thinks of victims like people who go to court, like victims of sexual assault or a crime like theft or burglary. Those people, she says, are victims, but she doesn't like the victimization of people who were tricked by MLMs because they should have known better, she says. I completely 100% disagree with this.
All of a sudden, all of us are subject to the fine print, and humanity is thrown out the door. No matter how many lies people have been told, no matter how much they trusted the people that recruited them, and they trusted the process, all of a sudden, because they read the fine print, they have no right to be a victim. And yes, of course, worser things have happened. People have been victimized by far worser things. But that does not mean that people who have lost a ton of money in a vulnerable state from MLMs are not victims. To say, I'm sorry, but you signed a contract, you signed up for this, is victim blaming, and it's toxic. The literal definition in the dictionary of a victim is a person who is tricked or duped. But people who've been tricked or duped into joining a pyramid scheme with a product just aren't a victim, shame on you. I'm sorry I had to rant about that really quickly. I just had to get all of that out because that is the most offensive thing that I've heard out of all of this. And to me, really shows that there has been a major fundamental misunderstanding about what anti-MLM is and what it stands for in the first place. As you can tell throughout this video, faces will be blurred when I show video clips of people, and I will not be mentioning any names. The reason why I'm doing that is to kind of prove a point. I've been seeing so much policing of anti-MLM content and what the right thing to do is and what the wrong thing to do is. And this person's doing this thing and I don't like the way they're doing that. And it needs to fucking stop. I think having a debate about the ethics in which we present information and the best way to do so is extremely important. But when it gets to the point that you are nitpicking other people and content creators who are just trying to spread a message and warn people about MLMs, you are being toxic, you are competing, and you are trying to tear people down for your own gain. And guess what? It doesn't fucking work. And one thing I've been seeing a lot that people have been policing each other's content on lately is whether or not the faces of the people that anti-MLM creators react to are blurred. Now, I respect anyone who blurs faces. I think that's a great thing to do. But if you've watched my channel, you'll notice sometimes I blur faces and sometimes I don't. I always try my best to blur minors' faces or children's faces in my videos, though my Ace Family video was a major fail on that part, I will admit that. As far as blurring adults' faces in videos or MLMers' faces in videos that I react to, it depends. For me, it depends on a variety of factors. Is this person posting a very private thing that's not very publicly viewed, and I'm kind of taking from that very private content? Is this person a public figure? Is this video very widely viewed? Do a lot of people know who this person is? Is blurring their face going to do more harm than good because they are creating so much harm, like Kim Marshall, that awareness about them needs to be spread? There's a lot of different factors I look into, and I try and analyze it very ethically to my personal content. And I honestly never get any hate comments about that aspect, or I rarely get comments about it because I think most people can tell when your intentions are good. In my opinion, it matters more about what you say and whether or not you are spreading hateful ideology or contributing to a positive message. But I don't focus on other people's content and whether or not they're blurring faces and whether I agree with that and rant about it and post it publicly, because that's not my business. It's their content. And in my opinion, if something falls under the YouTube content guidelines and they are not harming people and causing a lot of damage and hate, then it's not my business or anyone else's whether they blur a face. Come on, guys. But the reason why I'm blurring faces today is to prove a very specific point to the anti-MLM community, I'm hoping, which is that sometimes it still doesn't fucking matter. Like, if you are the person whose face is being blurred, you're gonna know that I'm talking about you. If you are people who are involved in the community that I'm speaking on, you're still gonna know who the people I'm talking about are, whether or not their faces are blurred or they're mentioned. So does it matter at the end of the day? Or is it kind of a non-issue that we're making into an issue? Now, that was my ranting for this portion of the video because those were just the main issues that I've seen that I've just been really having a lot of opinions and takes on, and I needed to rant about because I think some of them just don't need to be discussions. They just don't. And it's just people involving themselves into other people's business for no reason. At the end of the day, I think it looks ridiculous. If you are a bunch of content creators that people are watching because they agree with the movement that you're participating in and they like your take on it, and all of a sudden you just start pointing fingers at other content creators and shading people, and it's all this like YouTuber drama, you just look stupid. I'm sorry, you do. It's so beyond unimportant at this point that it's ridiculous. On top of that, there's just so much that has happened that I've experienced, that I've witnessed. I know when we talk about the anti-MLM drama, a lot of people are like, what's going on? What's happening here? I have no idea. What's the tea? What's behind the scenes? We're all so confused. And for a lot of things, I'm confused too, but I do know about a lot. And there's so much that I've experienced firsthand that I've kept in because I just didn't want to take it there. I didn't want to bring this shit public. It's just like, I just kind of ignored people, stayed minding my own business, only messed with the people that were supportive and positive, and just completely blocked out creators that were mean girls because I just didn't want to associate with it. But at this point, I feel like I need to talk about it because the same people that I have known about for a while that have tried to harass me, that have tried to involve me in drama, that I've seen red flags from for a long time, have dragged my friends down into drama, have created drama, and have honestly torn the anti-MLM community apart and made it look ridiculous. It's such a bad look. And that's why I feel like today I need to share my experiences and shut this down because there is, in my opinion, only one toxic person. Now, of course, I don't know the full story with everything, and I'm sure, it's a lot more than that, and there's a few people that are behind it all. And of course, I know there's one person who has taken a lot of blame and a lot of hate, and I don't know her personally. She's very young, and she does not deserve a huge amount of hate because she is still learning and growing and developing, and if you don't like her content, you have a right to. But in my opinion, she has not been the most toxic person in this community, and I'm going to share my experiences and just put it out there because I'm over it. I'm over it. A creator on here named Tiana recently posted a video about all of this drama. Now, I've watched the video, and personally, I think that it was a very factual video in which Tiana presented things in a very balanced way. I did not find there to be anything out of line in that video, in my opinion.
Obviously, you guys, this is 100% from my perspective, how I saw things go down, what I have gathered from the situation, and I am going to do my best to lay it all out for you here today.
And I do understand why she created the video, because so many people were wondering about this drama and what's going on and what has happened. And I thought it was a very factual video breaking down what has occurred. In this video, she talks about the toxic creator and the video that this toxic creator has made recently, talking about how she's leaving the anti-MLM community and kind of gaslighting her audience. A lot of people felt that's what she was doing.
There is starting to me, you start to notice, and I noticed it among all of the quite large anti-MLM creators, is that there is this gatekeeping that they partake in. That if you are accepted by them, you make acceptable anti-MLM content like you're in, and if you aren't accepted by them, then your content isn't deemed, like you're not into the anti-MLM clique, like, ooh, you're just riding the wave, or you're just another one of those people, when in reality it's like all of these people are providing a voice to a cause, and I want to do more deep dives, and I want to be more educational. All of that stuff, I don't think anybody was saying that she couldn't. And when she's talking about feeling the pressure from doing reaction videos, she's talking specifically about her analytics, her YouTube analytics, where her reaction videos do better. So she's saying, oh, well, when I post, if I just want to post about, me doing, I don't know, something random, do you think it's going to get as many views as a reaction video? Well, no, because that's the channel content.
And this creator, in return for this video, that was a commentary, transformative video, which is fair use under the YouTube guidelines. And we all know it because any anti-MLM content creator, use fair use guidelines and are aware of fair use guidelines because we are, in a way, commentary channels. So we all know what constitutes as fair use, especially if we have been on YouTube for years and years and years, as this person has. And yet still, this person goes on their Instagram, publicly shows the video so people can find it, posts comments where people are like angry against this creator, kind of encouraging people to post comments against this creator, Tiana, who made the video, kind of encouraging bullying, in my opinion, which is my opinion. And then on top of that, threatened legal action. She claimed that the video was defamation. And then on top of that, she copyright striked the video. Not copyright claimed, but copyright striked. And for those of you guys who don't know what the difference is, basically, to get copyright claimed, you just can't make any money off of a video. It gets demonetized. But to copyright strike a video, if a person has a strike on their channel, it is very serious for the creator. And to do that in bad faith, knowing that something is fair use just because you decided you didn't like what the person said, is not okay. It gives me more respect for MLM reps who I have talked about in my videos and who others have, who may have not liked the video but did not take it to that extreme. That is censoring someone and their opinion and their free speech because you don't like what they said. Because we all know that it was fair use. That's the end. I understand that you might not like what someone said about you, and I understand that that would be really hard to see something like that. But to strike it in bad faith is not okay. It's hypocritical for someone who has made so many videos on MLM reps, and it's straight bullying. I spoke with Tiana briefly, and while I don't want to expose too much of our private DMs, she did confirm that this toxic creator filed a strike against her channel, not just a claim, and that she in turn filed a counterclaim. Then this creator emailed her, threatening her to take her to court, and demanded that she remove her counterclaim. She expressed to her that she believes she filed a false strike in an effort to censor the community, which is not the purpose of the strike button, and that she's prepared to deal with this legally, which good for her because this is just not acceptable. And this should not be acceptable for a community that prides itself and creators that pride themselves on finding facts and presenting information, because this claim was not factual. In my opinion, this person was operating 100% under fair use, and this was not okay. And to me, that was the last straw that brought me to make this video, because it's genuinely so upsetting to me as someone who really cares about commentary channels like myself and like Tiana, and even like this creator, being able to express their opinions and share commentary on people who are doing very, very unethical things. I'm sure we'll all be able to know who the person is that I'm talking about. My intention isn't to hide who this person is, but please do not go to their pages and comment and try and start crap with them. They're not even letting people at this point, but regardless, don't do that. Don't go onto online forums and talk about it to the point where it just gets blown out of proportion or rumors get spread. The reason why I'm sharing this is to hopefully just limit this person's ability to cause any further damage. Just like the beauty community, it's peaceful and then there's a few toxic people, but those toxic people have made this whole image of the beauty community look like this toxic, drama-ridden community. And that same thing has happened to the anti-MLM community. There's one, in my opinion, but a few toxic people who have made the entire community look bad. And that's not okay. A few people decided to be mean girls, spread drama and rumors, and try and make all of this a competition and just instead of spreading an important message. And I'm just so done. I'm done.
I cannot promise you I'm going to be nice because guess what? No one that knows me would ever describe me as nice. You have a better chance being in an MLM and succeeding than you do being a YouTube creator. Much more competition, much bigger pool of people to compete with.
I disengaged from it a very long time ago, but I feel obligated to talk about it today. So here's my truth. Reality is, I knew to my core that this was going to happen months ago. And when I explain my experiences, bear with me because I have some receipts, but I don't have other receipts. I don't have all of it. So some of it's just going to be kind of my story, and some I will have receipts to show you guys. The reason why is because at first, when I started talking with this one person who I believe is the ultimate mean girl of this group. When I first started talking to them, I noticed little red flags here and there, but I didn't think enough to screen record anything. But then when it got really bad, that's when I started screen recording and screenshotting stuff, just because I knew in my gut I would need them at some point. But for the rest, I tried to look back through our messages and end up finding out this person blocked me, which I have never publicly, openly shared my opinion of this person. I have never started drama with them. The only reason I can think in my mind that they blocked me is they knew that some of the messages they sent me were not okay, and they blocked me so I couldn't see our messages. That's the only thing I could think. Or maybe they saw that I unfollowed them a while ago and they got mad and blocked me. I don't know. So I started doing anti-MLM videos. My very first video was in January of 2020. I'm really thankful for the amount of growth I've been able to receive. It's amazing. I'm mind blown every day. But my very first video was on Amway and how politics is kind of connected to Amway and how it's kind of the original MLM, and that was a subject that interested me. So I made a video, put it out there, and just kept going ever since. But I noticed other creators had kind of started to talk about anti-MLM. And in my opinion, I thought that was great because we all had different takes on the subject, different styles, different personalities. And at the end of the day, that creativity is just getting the word out there more. And I didn't see any of it as harmful or damaging. Of course, I think that there's some aspects like, you know, getting to the point where you make fun of women or are kind of attacking. And that's such a hard line to walk, and I think that some people may have taken it too far, but that's also not my business. And I think that the audience always does an amazing job of keeping people in check. Like, it's not another creator's job to tell someone when they go too far or not far enough. It's their audience that kind of is helping them with that. Like, it's just not necessary, you know? So anyways, as I was kind of seeing these creators popped up, I noticed this one creator who has been on YouTube for a while. This is just a really small detail, but something that I just sticks out in my mind is I noticed she followed me for a few months, I think like 1 or 2 months. And I just noticed, because you see people that have like a high subscriber count, like in your subscriptions, like on YouTube analytics, you see those people, like the high follower count people who subscribe to you. So I saw this person and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And like checked out their channel, saw that they didn't do anti-MLM content. And then like a few weeks later, I saw they started to make anti-MLM content. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. You know, that's it. So then about a month later, me and this YouTuber start talking because this YouTuber has been on YouTube for a while and wanted to give me advice on how to deal with haters. Something I just always think is funny in this conversation, I don't have a screenshot, but I just vividly remember her saying, I haven't checked out your YouTube channel yet, but I'll check it out. And just being so confused because I'm like, I literally saw that you subscribed to me months ago. Why are you telling me that you have no idea who I am? She was like, oh, a follower told me about you and I had no idea who you are. I'll check you out. And I'm like, I saw you subscribe to me months ago. So that was like the first like red flag where I'm like, this person might be fake or maybe they forgot. I don't know. So we would just kind of talk off and on, and I appreciated, you know, having a YouTuber friend with experience because this whole world was something that I was so new to and learning about. I still am. I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing most days. And so I enjoyed like talking with someone about it. Then the second red flag that happened was this situation where I kind of thought that like a YouTuber had copied one of my videos. So what ended up happening is I just remember one day seeing this comment, I'll put it up on the screen here, where someone was telling me they thought another creator like copied my video that I did. And I was like freaked out, and I got a few other comments like that. So I was like, oh, this person thinks this creator copied my video. That's really weird. And so I watched the video, and there were a lot of similar points and a lot of similar resources that I used. So I got really upset. I thought this person copied my video. And so I did an Instagram story where I basically subtweeted it. It was like super angsty and just like so sad that a creator I looked up to copied my video. So dramatic. So the creator that I've been talking to for a while, the anti-MLM creator, the toxic anti-MLM creator, DM'd me and she was like, I know who this is about. I saw that video too, but I get accused of copying all the time. And so, it might be an accident, because sometimes accidents happen. You just happen upon all the same resources. You just happen to make all the same points. I would give this person the benefit of the doubt. You never really know, which I honestly thought is a really good point. You don't have ownership of a video topic, and that's something I've learned at this point. And honestly, it's good if someone covers a topic that you've covered, not just from an analytical standpoint, but just because you're spreading the word more. So, now my opinion's changed, and I agree with the toxic anti-MLM creator and what she was saying on that. So, we're talking in the DMs about the whole situation, and I'm just kind of like, I respect this creator who kind of did the video on the same topic that I did. I, think they're really amazing and stuff. So it did just kind of bum me out when they did this video and didn't seem to give me like any credit as like a resource or anything. That kind of bummed me out. And I just vividly remember, though I don't have the screenshot for this, so once again, take it at face value. I just vividly remember this toxic creator saying, well, yeah, but now that I looked into this person, I don't think they're a very good person. What? I was talking about how I think this person may have replicated a video of mine and it kind of bummed me out, but it could have been a mistake. And all of a sudden you jump from that to being like, yeah, I don't think this person's a very good person. And it's like that, I don't think this person's a good person, ... Like finish the sentence type of thing. And I've been around the block. I've dealt with mean girls before. So I kind of knew what was going on immediately in my gut. I was like, this person wants me to talk crap about this other creator. This person's trying to rope me in to talking crap about someone. I just felt like I was being trapped into trying to talk crap about another creator who I didn't know at all. And that was my first thought, is like, I don't know this person. I actually kind of think they're a good person. I respect them. That's why I was bummed. But I don't know them. So I just replied like that, like, well, I don't know who they are. And, I like them and I like their content and I respect them a lot. The end. But immediately I just thought it was so strange that just out of the blue, she would just randomly say, I don't think this person's a good person at all. And that's when I was like, I wonder if this person is trying to get me to say rumors or gossip about them so that they can screenshot that or screen record it and send it to them so that they can befriend this creator who is bigger than me and like be buddy-buddy with them or be buddy-buddy with me, kind of play both sides. Immediately, that's where my mind went. And I know it sounds like super, conspiratorial. But I mean, when you see some of the other stuff that happened, I have very specific theories on it. Also, numerous times through the DM, they would try and do stuff like that, like manipulate me or get me to see certain ways. And they like claim to be like a psychology expert or like majored in psychology or something like that. So I think they genuinely think that they're able to like manipulate people. And I'm just like, honey, no, I'm not that stupid. So meanwhile, at around this same time, this toxic creator uploads a video where they, it's one of the first videos saying my problems with the anti-MLM community. Only it wasn't about rumors or gossip or drama at that point. They didn't have enough time to drum any of that up. What this was about is they were mad because a creator was posting too many videos. And they were upset that this creator was posting too many videos and they didn't like that. So they wanted to make a video about that because somehow it impeded on their content creation for another person to just be making a lot of videos.
I don't know what's been in the air lately, but it just seems as though there's this race to talk about things right away. I really do feel like there's this race to be first and it's a trend and people are, wanting views, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't do it. I don't like it. I don't approve of it. And I think it's disappointing.
They also brought up all these other issues, just basically policing other content creators' content, which just made it very clear to me that this person is extremely focused on what other people are doing. Extremely focused. I was told that the person that this toxic creator was shading was Emily Leah for posting a lot of content. I'm just going to say their name because it's kind of getting weird to be talking about creators a lot. I'm sure you guys are confused at various moments. But yeah, so this toxic creator was shading Emily Leah in a whole video because she was just so upset that Emily Leah was making a lot of videos and posting frequently. I'm just so over people policing each other's content. It just reeks of jealousy and insecurity. Mind your own business. Unless they are being extremely harmful and extremely damaging with the content they're making, or they're scamming other people, in which I will make a video on you. Just kidding. It's none of your business. If someone's posting a lot, you're gonna make a whole video complaining about how someone's posting a lot. The whole situation made it very clear to me that this person is in it only to compete. They are hyper-focused on what people are doing and really don't care about the anti-MLM movement or the purpose. It's more just like, this is a trend and I want to be on top. I want to be the number one for this trend. Another really interesting thing, when you look at this YouTuber's content and whenever they bring up issues with the anti-MLM community, time and time again, they are constantly shading Emily Leah, which I don't want to bring ageism into it or act like maturity has anything to do with your age, all of that. But I do feel the need to point out that I believe this YouTuber is almost 40 and Emily Leah is 18 or 19. I forget if she's 19 at this point. But there is a huge age gap here. And to constantly bring up issues and shade another YouTuber on your platform who's much, much younger than you, and to constantly have an issue with what they're doing and compete with them, to me is just not necessary at all. You can see, she had an issue with Emily Leah posting too much, and I even remember at certain points she was talking on her Instagram about it, she talked on her YouTube about it.
I don't know what's been in the air lately, but it just seems as though there's this race to talk about things right away. Deanna is here and Lauren is another anti-MLM YouTuber. We are bonding over this. But there's also a way to disrupt things in this community because I really do feel like there's this race to be first and it's a trend and people are, wanting views, and I've already been there. That's why I wanted to change my channel. I don't want to be racing to be first to get a certain topic out.
Then she had an issue with Emily Leah talking about Jaclyn Hill and brought that up publicly. And while it's okay to have a different stance on something, to bring it up to your public platform and to shade someone so publicly doesn't feel right to me. And just consistently, time and time again, she shades Emily Leah.
Jaclyn Hill. Oh, but you put the Black China and and you came on. No. Is that her name anyway? I forgot her name already. This is different. You don't know her because you've seen her videos, because you think you know about some scandal, because you don't like her.
So once again, I kept quiet about this. I didn't talk about how I kind of felt like this was off because why would I? That's not my business. But I did keep it in my little noggin. And one of my friends, who has always been kind and supportive to me, was very close and is kind of still very close with this toxic creator. And I noticed how interestingly this toxic creator and their beef that they were having with Emily Leah, all of a sudden, my friend started hearing about all these rumors that Emily Leah was talking about, or all these mean things that she was doing and how she's being a bitch, and all of a sudden was hearing all of these things coincidentally at the same time that this toxic creator was having issues with her and kind of wanting to go against her. That's a really interesting coincidence. And I just think about that original message that I received saying, now that I think about it, I don't think this person's a really good person. Fast forward to where we are now with all the rumors being spread, the problems people have had with Emily Leah, and I wonder how much this toxic creator has contributed to that. I wonder. That's just speculation on my part. But so, like I said though, regardless, I just kept this in my little noggin and continued making content that I liked and cared about, focusing on my own lane, not talking to this person at this point because I knew they were toxic and I could see that. And so I was like, I'm not going to really talk to this person. I'm just going to focus on this content that I like and stay in my lane. So I make the Jared Leto video, and it's, titled Jared Leto's Cult, which, he jokes and calls it a cult himself. I know, right? He jokes and calls it a cult himself. And the video, my videos are meant to be subjective. If you know me or you've commented a comment with an alternative opinion on my videos, I never make it so that you have to agree with what I'm saying. I love those alternative opinions, and I love having a discussion in the comments, and I love it when people can convince me otherwise or bring up new information. And I'm always so impressed by the intelligence of people who comment and are able to bring to light new perspectives. It's never you have to think my way, or I hate these people, so I'm making a video about them. That's not the intention of my videos. Anyways, I just had to put that out there real quick. She likes getting her booty scratched. That's being inappropriate. So anyways, I post this Jared Leto video, and randomly, out of the blue, after I haven't talked to this person in a long time, they leave 4 public comments on this video that are negative, extremely critical comments talking about how bad the video is. Which for a ton of reasons is bizarre, because first off, we've talked in the DMs before, but why not just DM me if you have an issue with my video? I really didn't understand why she felt the need to comment on my videos when we've talked privately so many times and she has a direct way of communicating with me. And also just from a creator's standpoint, I just can't imagine leaving a hate comment. I don't think it was hate, I guess critical comment on someone's videos, because you know what it's like. You know what it's like to get an overwhelming amount of critical comments on your videos. You know that feeling. Why would you do it to another creator? So anyways, these are the comments that they left. Don't bite me. So I was talking about how expensive the tickets were and kind of how I felt, in my opinion, Jared Leto and his band 30 Seconds to Mars were kind of taking advantage of fans and supporters and having them pay an outrageous amount of money for these experiences. So she comments, I paid $7,000 to learn about human potential coaching and get certified. So I don't think it's odd that an entire retreat, including all the activities, being able to enjoy a famous band that's probably some people's favorite, is $7,000. I don't know. There are retreats by people who aren't even famous that are that much. You could also say, well, college is $250,000 in some universities, so I should be able to pay $7,000 to go to Mars Island, right? You can always do that with anything. The comparisons are endless. That's not the point. I'm sorry that you paid $7,000 to do business coaching. If it made you happy and you felt it helped, that's great. But I don't understand the relevancy. Okay, second criticism. The site says, due to unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic and government issue restrictions, Mars Island 2020 will be postponed the summer of 2021. So I'm not really sure where the information came from or if this came out of your video, but it's not true that it's happening in August. Which it's A, DM me, but B, I literally said that in the video. It was just false information. So I responded and I said, I added that to the video since I filmed before that announcement came out. But as I was editing, noticed that the announcement had just come out. I tried to be as respectful as possible, but it was honestly really ridiculous to me. She didn't watch the video where I said that part. So this is this person's third comment that they left on this video. And it says, hey, I just have one criticism about the video so far, and I'm only a few minutes in. I don't know how you can get mad at someone who's worked practically his whole life being an actor and singer, which, by the way, I don't get mad. My videos have a comical purpose to them. I may react strongly to something, but to boil it all down to me like just getting mad is really offensive, and I think they said that for a reason. Like, you know, it was kind of offensive to the video and the work that I put in. I don't know how you can get mad at someone who's worked practically his whole life being an actor and a singer, and then criticize him not being like the everyday person. Like I said, I've only watched a few minutes, but number one, he's usually being very comedic, so I'm not even sure that the things he's saying are true. Secondly, as someone who's pretty much grew up as an actor and a singer, like I said, I really don't think it's fair to assume he doesn't understand what's going on in the world. He's actually extremely smart, and yeah, he has opportunities that we don't, but I don't see how you could compare or criticize that. Which is just like, all of it is speculation and taking something I did in the video and drawing this large conclusion about my intention or how I'm criticizing or being mad, and it's just like, come on. So anyways, I just responded, never meant to overly criticize. The purpose of reacting to his vlog and what he's been up to recently was to set the tone for how he is out of touch in some aspects. As she said in her comment herself, he's grew up as an actor and singer, which she believes leads to him being out of touch. The point of the video was him being out of touch. What's your point? I also wanted to add, the reason why this public YouTube comment or these multiple public YouTube comments made me so uncomfy is that me and this YouTuber do videos on the same subject. We have a lot of the same subs, and I just felt like it was embarrassing for her to comment her issues publicly like this for all of her subs and my shared subs to see, especially when this person has acted like a friend to me and we've talked on various occasions privately. I really don't understand why she would have this need to comment on one of my video posts so publicly, unless it was because she wanted the people that also followed her to see that she didn't like this video or she didn't approve of it. Because also, I see Instagram DMs way quicker than I see public YouTube comments. So, you know, it just didn't make sense to me. So anyways, it sounds like I was just defending myself with all those comments, but I feel like I have to when another creator is commenting on my video while watching it, like through the process without even watching the whole thing. Yeah, and it was just really bizarre to me. Like, I haven't talked to you in a while, but we have our DMs open, but instead you choose to actively try and start an issue with me on my videos because you have a problem with the topic that I chose for a video. It's just like, to me, it's no boundaries. It's not okay. It's not professional in any way. And this is a job and you have to conduct yourself professionally in some way. And it also gives me no respect or benefit of the doubt as a fellow creator. So that was not okay, in my opinion. But this person still actively, publicly calls me out. Still. So after I post my Gary Vee video, where I'm kind of just talking about how ridiculous some of the things he says are, how, you know, basically like with any technology company, if you don't know what the product is, you are the product, those concepts, I'm talking about all of that. And so she makes a public Instagram post. She makes a public Instagram post where she tags me and calls my videos hate videos or me hating on two people she loves. Publicly on Instagram. She says, however, I know that not everyone is going to like me. I mean, shit, at Cruel World Happy Mind, literally my Instagram she tags me and says, did a video sorta hating on at Jared Leto and at Gary Vee, haha, both of whom I absolutely adore. And it just goes to show you, not everyone likes and adores you, but that doesn't mean you can't get along.
I don't love Gary Vee all the time, but he's smart and I can learn something and I can see something a different way.
I'm sorry, what? Why did you feel the need to tag me like that? And what were you expecting? To this day, I don't understand if she was trying to get a rise out of me and get me to react, if she was trying to get me mad and get into like a controversy with me. I don't know. It's not even this. It's all of the things where she had actively just gotten herself involved in my content that just made me uncomfortable. I had disengaged so many times because it just made me uncomfortable and like just ignored it. And she kept publicly talking about me. So anyways, a really sweet person responded, and like no one was like, oh yeah, I hated that video. And I'm not sure if that's what she was expecting, but no one did that. And there was a really sweet person that commented on her post and said, I loved At Cruel World Happy Minds video on Gary Vee. I felt it needed more because it was so accurate in my opinion. Have you watched Unwell on Netflix? And so publicly, once again on her Instagram, she commented, I didn't watch the one on Gary because I got too upset with the one on Jared because I didn't believe what was being said. I just have a totally different perspective because I've been following him since I was 12 years old. And considering he's in a band, there are a lot of music festivals that cost a lot of money to go to, and I didn't find anything about that cult-like. I don't always like Gary on a daily basis, but I just don't think I want to watch a video where I have to dissect whether or not I believe what the person was saying. However, I do you like Madison. I'm watching Unwell on Netflix today. To me, that whole comment was so shady. It was like you're shading my content, but then you're like, oh, but I like her, and it's all positive, and you're publicly gossiping about content, involving yourself in my content, and yet you have a problem with the anti-MLM community because it's all gossip. I was here when you entered the community, and in my opinion, this person was the start of gossip.
I don't know, like they're going to expose something I said. They're going to expose like something bad I said about people because I did. So yes, I've shit talked people. I don't feel good about that. I do not feel good about it.
And she's publicly gossiping about my content for the world to see. So who's the mean girl in all of this? So anyways, that's when I had had enough of this person and enough of being nice, and I just unfollowed. I don't know if she wanted me to respond. I really don't know. It just got to be too much. And I'm like, I just don't care about your opinion. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm just going to unfollow because I do not care about your opinion and input. I don't. I care about my audiences because they keep me on track and they give really valid input. But if you're not going to provide one fact, you're just going to give false equivalencies and say you don't like my video because you're a fan of the person I'm talking about, I don't care about your opinion. So this is kind of the beginning of the end of the anti-community when I started to see stuff crumble. So I made another angsty Instagram story post where I talked about how I had felt like the anti-MLM community was becoming kind of filled with mean girls who were so concerned with competing with each other. And it felt to me like this idea of you need to tear other people down to succeed. And I was seeing mainly with this toxic creator, this mentality of I have to tear other people down. I have to tear down what content creators are doing in order for me to succeed. And not only is that a toxic way of thinking, but it's also just not going to work with YouTube. If you claim to be this analytical genius, you would know that focusing on being an authentic content creator, through being yourself, through editing, through improving your own content is the only way to succeed on YouTube. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is your relationship with their audience and the quality of videos that you make. So I was fed up with it. I was fed up with this mentality. I was fed up with seeing my friends being dragged into this mentality and dragged into this drama. And I made an Instagram post. And funny enough, I think this person knew I was talking about them because they responded in a very interesting way. I posted an Instagram story where I said, I just feel this pressure that I haven't felt since middle school or my first year of high school to be friends with the right people or say the right things or worry if something is being said behind my back. And I just refuse to feel that way again. In a community built upon lifting up women and spreading awareness about unethical business practices, we should of course hold each other accountable, but not at the expense of putting people down or becoming so competitive over who is covering a video or who is the most liked. There are so many anti-MLM creators, and I think everyone can succeed and thrive. That was my message. And this person responded, you're speaking some truth that you should live to it then, right? That's what I have to do. There's a ton of people who talk behind my back. There's people that don't want me creating this type of content. I genuinely believe she has created all of this in her mind and then has projected it and created this toxic circle of people. But they had a choice whether they wanted to be nice or they wanted to be mean, and they chose to be mean. So yeah, they can live their life and do that if they want. But I also think being silenced isn't right either. So I'm going to talk about that stuff publicly, and I don't really believe it's the wrong thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. If that's someone's truth, then they deserve to tell it, regardless if whether or not people might think it's mean. So let's break that down a little bit here, because I know that was a lot of gibberish. But in a post where I said, I think people are attacking other content creators, spreading rumors, trying to tear each other down and be competitive, she says, I'm going to tell my truth whether or not people think it's mean. It's like, on its own, that statement isn't wrong, but when you're applying it to the story that I just said, that has some really weird connotations to it. You're literally admitting that you have no problem with being mean. And this is the biggest issue that I have with this, and why I think this person has been spreading so much toxicity and constantly talking about YouTube analytics and numbers. They go on to say, it's definitely true, everyone can succeed and thrive, but I mean, is that really true? Everyone has the opportunity, but it doesn't mean that they will. Yeah, I never wanted to be anti-MLM, but when you're in a niche, you kind of have to do what the niche does in order to be suggested off some of their videos, but I'm actually kind of moving away from that. But yeah, I've been talking to this really cool creator who has been on the scene just for like 4 months, and he talks about scams, and that was my intention when I first started talking about multi-level marketing. I didn't even know there was such a thing as anti-MLM, and I totally agree that there's a weird competitiveness, and I got caught up in that too. But I also saw a lot of things I didn't like and still see them here and there, but what are you gonna do, right? I don't even watch other people's content anymore because the way I see it, they're not making it for me. They're making it for people trying to find their way out of multi-level marketing. Besides, your content has never really been, and I'm allowed to begin with. So I wouldn't even consider your content in the end. I am on community. So I would say, I don't think you have to worry about anything. You're not competing with anyone. You're doing way better than all of the people I can think of. I was never competing with anyone in the first place. I focus on myself and my content, but thank you. And that's why I tell you, you should just live it and not even give a second of your thoughts. So that whole thing, and I've been seeing this person and honestly a lot of others saying lately they're going to talk about scams, and they're starting to talk about just scams in general. I've been seeing that a lot, and you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that's my entire channel and always has been, just talking about scams and unethical business practices. And I honestly don't really care, like, if other people talk about it. Yeah, I do think, you know, it would be nice to admit where you maybe got your inspiration from and not deflect. But I'm also like, if people want to talk about scams, the more the merrier. Let's spread awareness. Like, why would I be mad about that? But yeah, I think this person was deflecting because I talk about competitiveness and copying and stuff like that, and they are basically low-key planning to copy a lot of my content or like copy the topics that I'm doing on scams.
You want to take 60% of what another YouTuber is doing in the niche you want to be in, and you use that in your title, and you use that in your thumbnail, and you take 60% of what's working and you put 40% of you. It's like we copy each other, but it's not copying, it's just borrowing the ideas and making it your own.
And we're deflecting about that. I don't really care. At the end of the day, competing with people, trying to tear them down is just not okay in my opinion. The whole thing was just like, what? I'm trying to voice how I'm feeling about a community, and you're talking about how it's like okay to compete, and you're covering scams and just all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, stop. Leave me alone. I honestly felt harassed by this person at different points. I felt like they were trying to start crap with me at various points, and it made me extremely uncomfortable. And I have never experienced that with any other creator here. Emily Leah, we have very different content. I know a lot of people are mad at her right now, but we've never talked, which is like better to me than actively harassing me and going after me for differences in content. To me, not talking at all, I can respect that because we don't have to be friends. Genuinely, I agree with her when she said that in her video. In my head, how I interpreted it is reality is it's unrealistic to expect to be friends with everyone. I think I'd like followed Emily Leah a few times, like wanting to be friends, and never got a follow back, but I didn't take it personally because it's okay to not want to be friends with me. As weird as that sounds, it's literally fine. Like, it's not something to like be upset over. What I'm upset over is when someone has constantly gone after me, tried to start issues with me, tried to rope me into saying gossip about another creator, tried to actively go after me. No, that's not okay. And this is the only creator I've experienced this with out of all the creators that I've talked to, which I've talked to a lot, because being a YouTuber is a lonely job. You're by yourself a lot, and it's really nice to make friends who do a similar thing. So I've made friends, and this is the only person. So when all of this toxicity has gone on, and I see a close friend of her and her former enemy are the main ones going at it, and I see her at the center coming out with this video about how everything's just so toxic, I call bullshit.
Last night, what changed that is that the person I was talking to brought up the name of someone that, like, one of the very few people that I feel like I established a relationship with in this community. Can't tell if I like my eyebrows or not today, I don't know. And that was the point where I was like, damn, okay, so someone that, you know, I trusted and liked in this community is also involved in this group chat and also talking all this shit. Like, her name specifically got brought up to me in a DM. And I'm like, okay, that's where I draw the line, because like I was sitting here like, I have had deep, meaningful conversations with this person. I talk to them on the regular, you know? So I was upset.
So yes, I've shit talked people. I don't feel good about that. I do not feel good about it.
And I know a lot of that was just like a lot to explain. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are tired of being like, why are you bringing all this up? But I just felt a need to put it out there because I am 100% sure that there are other creators that have had the same experience that I did that are not talking about it because it feels like things that are ridiculous to bring up. Of course, I don't think this person is the only reason for the divide in the anti-MLM community. With any sort of growing trend or growing movement, more people are going to be jumping onto it. More passionate people who are passionate about the subject and actually care about it. And they're going to have disagreements on different approaches to things and how content should be made. And I think having those discussions is important. It's important to talk about the ethical practices when approaching content, how to do it in the best way. But we are all on the same side. We're all on the same side. And I think most of it was civil until I started noticing this person involving themselves in not just my content, but a lot of other content creators' content. And people and, you know, pages, Instagram pages, all of that. So while I don't think they're the only reason for a lot of the divide in the anti-MLM community, I do think that they have done a lot more damage than they're giving credit for. So after all this drama is started and all this damage has been done, this person comes out with an announcement that they are leaving the anti-MLM community because it's just so toxic and they just can't believe it and they can't handle it. And, you know, of course, I want to make clear, if someone wants to change up their content, that is their prerogative. I don't know why they need to announce it like they're a plane taking off, but, you know, it's also their business what they want to do with their channel, and I'm not here to judge that in any way whatsoever. But I also think this video of theirs that they posted just exposed all of their true intentions for why they really joined this community in the first place. Throughout this video, they relentlessly discussed analytics and YouTube analytics and all of that stuff.
And it says top MLM fails, anti-MLM number 7. So why do you think I started titling my video in all caps and using anti-MLM in the title? This is my truth. This is what really happens in this business. It's like, I didn't really want to do reaction videos. There's another one too. Let me slide in Emily Leah for a minute. So the other one I was getting suggested off of was Pyramid Scheme, MLM Boss Babe Explains Pyramid Schemes, Anti-MLM. But my point is, Go look at the difference between that person putting out a reaction video and talking about themselves. Like, just a title like what I did what I did yesterday. Like, that's not going to get you views.
Which, first off, it is not healthy to focus on the numbers. They're talking from this perspective of as if it's like advice for, you know, people who want to be in YouTube and they're an analytic expert and a YouTube creator expert. And like the thing is, focusing on numbers like that, like they talk about, is not healthy, and I would never recommend it in a million years because it limits your ability to have any sort of creativity. When you're so focused on the numbers, how can you come up with these original, interesting, clever video ideas? When you're so focused on numbers and analytics, how can you continue that passion for why you're even doing any of this in the first place? And those are two key components for the success of any channel. I also want to say, throughout the video, she constantly says all creators think this way, or all people, all influencers or creators do this.
This is a job. People are doing this for money. Even me. And they're gonna say, no, I'm doing this because I'm passionate. Trust me, this shit is planned. Okay? So the titles, the thumbnails, the oh my god, you know, all that stuff is completely strategized.
This fascination with this idea of being an influencer or a creator is really interesting to me. But I would just say that is not true at all. So many creators have different creative processes, and that's something I like about this platform, is you can have whatever process you like. You can look at whatever numbers you like. You can post one video and it gets like 3 million views, like, you know, and that's the only video you ever post ever. There are no rules. There aren't. So, just for future purposes, I would be extremely wary of any course this person is selling that has to do with business, especially YouTube and analytics. Just off of what I know, I don't believe in anything that this person says in this video. So I would be wary of any potential future course they would create. I'm just going to put that out there. They also mention in this video that they researched anti-MLM before making videos, which I know because they subscribed to me before creating content and then claimed they never heard of me. And they found that anti-MLM was like a trend or growing in popularity or had specific points of the year where the interest would spike.
And when I started doing my research, I was like, yeah. These videos are gaining a lot of traction. This was before, I'm saying this was, you know, there's been a lot of people who have ridden the wave.
And to me, when they're saying that, what that just screams is that they didn't really have this like overwhelming passion for the movement, but maybe they had a dying channel and they saw anti-MLM as a growing movement that they could hitch a ride onto to grow their channel once again and get their view count up. I don't know. That seems to be what they're saying in this video. In this video, they also seem to be upset about the videos that do bad and claim that it's their Google upline telling them that they suck. And while I get it, I also don't fully relate. And once again, this whole all creators thing, it's like I don't relate because like sometimes the videos you put lots of time and effort into don't get received as well. And then one random video you did one day about pearls being opened gets a lot of views and you're like, I did not know that would be the one. And you never know, you know? So it's to be so focused on that, at least to me, would drive me crazy. So to me, this video that they made where they're deflecting all of their issues onto the anti-MLM community, really all it's saying is that this person saw a growing, trending topic, tried to jump onto the bandwagon, hoping to get as many views as some of the larger creators out there and the views they got. But it didn't work out exactly like they thought it would, and so when it didn't work out like that, they decided to overly compete with people, compare their content, and try and tear people down in order to get ahead. And when that didn't even work and the community blew up, they decided they're gonna leave because they're still not getting the view counts that they want. But the thing is, anti-MLM is still here and it is still thriving. It's not going anywhere just because a toxic creator decided to leave the community. Like, that's actually great news, and we should all be very happy about it. So I had to talk about this today, and I had to rant, and I had to defend a community that I care about so much, that's at a core of my beliefs and the channel that I've done, and has brought a lot of what I have today on this channel. It didn't feel right for me to move on without addressing this at all, or sharing with you guys what I've been dealing with behind the scenes for a while, because the things that I've seen and witnessed are not okay. And as you notice, I didn't talk too much about other rumors and gossip in this video because I just wanted to talk about my personal experiences. I don't know the full story with other stuff going on, and some of the things I'm just as confused as I'm sure you guys are. In my opinion, from my experience, the anti-MLM community is filled with caring people who are concerned about ethics and the widespread of misinformation and scams on the internet. Anti-MLM is not just catty YouTubers or people jumping on the trend. To me, it's a symbol of people no longer accepting predatory business practices and predatory business models that prey on the vulnerable. And anti-MLM will still be here long after the mean girls have gone away. So thank you, next.